Inside Huntsville with Brenda Martin, a conversation with department heads at City Hall on streets, ball fields, public safety, and more. And also with our community partners that add economic security, support education, and enhance the city's quality of life.
Hello, I'm Brenda Martin with Inside Huntsville. Thanks for joining me. Today we are highlighting one of the busiest departments in Huntsville city government, community development. Scott Erwin, a very active planner in that department, will share with us how the department assists you, our citizens. Welcome, Scott. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Brenda. It's an honor to be here to talk about community development and all the great things happening and how we're helping our citizens in Huntsville.
Well, you're doing a lot of things in that department. Let's start with, you've been with the department, of course, for some time now. What services does the community development provide to our citizens?
Well, there are basically two different areas. We have the code enforcement area, which most are familiar with. We try to make sure that our citizens are good neighbors, the grass and doesn't get out of control, and the properties aren't neglected and things like that. So our code enforcement manages that, and they do a phenomenal job working with our citizens and neighborhoods. The other side of our department is grants program. We get federal U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development grant funds, so we try to maximize those funds for our community to make sure that we are helping all of our neighborhoods, some of our low to moderate income neighborhoods, and that we are truly boosting up everyone in Huntsville through the use of these limited resources.
Well, now, what grant programs do you work with?
Well, one of the more popular ones that I work with is the down payment assistance. We are trying to help foster home ownership within the city of Huntsville. And some of the qualifications, you do have to be a first-time home buyer. You have some certain income limits, but the most importantly, you have to qualify for a traditional mortgage. It's not really a handout, it's a hand up. So we're trying to encourage new ownership within some of the low to moderate income neighborhoods. If you can live in the house for 5 years, which is your obligation, then your down payment can be provided for through these grant funds, and it can be up to $5,000. And once again, you need to invest in your neighborhood just by staying there and being a good neighbor and creating those opportunities around the community.
Well, how would one become advised that this is even available to them?
Well, we work with lenders, and some realtors know, but most importantly, our office. Just call 427-5400, or my number is 427-5423. And we can line you up. We do have a local nonprofit, which is Family Services Center, and they have a contract to help facilitate, because you have to complete a home buyer education class, and you have to understand what home ownership is. It's not just a quick fix. It's an 8-hour intensive class to understand the benefits and the pitfalls. And so once you are working with a lender, you've gotten your class, then we can proceed forward with your closing.
You know, having that class is really important, because I guess if you haven't owned a home initially ever, you don't realize all the things that are involved in it, like maintaining the environment.
Yeah. Home ownership can be a blessing, but it can also be a curse if you're not prepared for it. So that was one of the, and it's a grant requirement that you complete these classes for education purposes. And many individuals complete the class for their own self-satisfaction, their own self-education, and once they have completed, they say, well, I'm doing quite well in my rental opportunity right now. I don't need the responsibilities of maintaining a structure if I don't have to. So home ownership isn't for everyone, but those who are interested in doing it, we are certainly there to try to help facilitate. When the barrier is a down payment, when they are struggling and they're working, they can make their payments every month, and they're doing fine with that. But getting those resources together and accumulating a down payment can sometimes be challenging.
So that's where you come in, and
we come in with that program, and I said it is up to $5,000 for the first-time home buyer. Obviously, it has to be in the city limits of Huntsville. Obviously, it cannot exceed a certain price limit, which is $150,000. These aren't for your upper-income neighborhoods. These are for your starter neighborhoods usually.
Well, now, how many people do you average, say, on a yearly basis that take advantage of this?
In about 5 years, we've probably done about 400.
Oh my!
So it goes periodically. We've had a huge investment, we think, and many have completed their requirements, and so they are no longer required to fulfill our obligations, but they're enjoying themselves.
And I guess, you know, this has got to be a great, great feeling for not only you and the department, but the homeowner.
Well, going to those home closings, and it's very moving at times because these are individuals, and I had one that was a veteran that was 66 years old. It was his first time to own a home.
Yeah.
So it was an emotional time for him, and he was able to get the property, and let's say it was a blessing to him because he'd served our country for so many years,
exactly.
and he wanted to come back and relocate in Huntsville. So we had a perfect opportunity to get him in a
Great
property.
story, great story. Well, listen, the federal grant program called Home, what type of resources does that program provide for our citizens here in Huntsville?
Well, one of the other programs, because Home funds the down payment assistance, but we do affordable senior housing. So we have a state program that's managed by the Alabama Housing Finance Authority, and local jurisdictions like Huntsville can use, if we use a portion of our local dollars, then the state will fund multifamily projects. So we've had 3 that are out of the ground, operating and housed. Franklin Hills out on Millennium Drive, Clarkston Square on South Parkway, and Flint River over in Hampton Cove is about to open, and we're under construction now with Lenox Park. So these are for seniors, families that have decided once again that maybe home ownership and their stage of life isn't something they want to continue maintaining. They want to get somewhere where there's more security, there is more activities, there's closer camaraderie within the neighborhood. So this is for affordable senior when they're ready to transition out of those lifelong, family-long homes into something more manageable for them. So we put a little bit of federal money in that program. They pay all of that back. We've had probably about a $40 million investment in these facilities around the community, looking at somewhere in the 300 unit range. And the average rent is somewhere in the $475 to $550 range.
And these are all for seniors, or
Yes.
okay?
The Flint River is a multifamily, but Clarkston, Franklin Hills, and the soon-to-be open Lenox Park are all strictly for seniors 55 and older.
Okay, multifamily is for
Well, any age.
any age.
Is not age restricted.
Now, how many units do you have there?
82.
82. Okay. Are they full?
Not quite, because they only started leasing probably about 2 to 3 months ago. So they will be soon. The interest is there. It's really a wonderful development over past Sutton Road, past Hampton Cove on the left. So it is very, very nice, very serene setting out there.
Okay. Well,
And once again, these are private developers. These aren't Section 8, they're not Housing Authority, they're not any other federal program. We put some of our local dollars in as a loan to let these developers create these affordable housing opportunities, but you have the same requirements as you would any other rental opportunity.
we have an aging community, so therefore you see a need.
Absolutely, and we targeted, the big picture has been telling us for a couple years now some of the items citizens around the community would like to see, and one of the larger items is housing opportunities for our seniors.
I see.
Because they are indeed wanting to move out from those homes that they moved into in the 50s, 60s, 70s.
Yes, yes.
And once again, usually it's a maintenance issue. They're tired of maintaining, so they need to get in and have something that is affordable,
Yes.
and which these are, but at the same time, so that they can just go and enjoy their golden years and not worry about the stress
Sounds
of
wonderful.
ownership. And then our other program we have for the home, we do new construction. We actually are targeting Terry Heights neighborhood, although we have done some other neighborhoods. And Terry Heights is like a neighborhood that is thriving once again. It was back probably
Refurbished,
in
if
the
you
30s,
will.
40s, it was
Yes.
thriving. It went down a little bit over the years, but the school system invested almost $20 million in a new school.
Yes.
We, with our home dollars, have invested probably about $5 million over a period of 6 to 7 years on about 30 new houses. Each house sells for about $75,000, somewhere within that range.
How many bedrooms in those?
3-bedroom, 2-bath. And once again, we focus on a maintenance issue. We try their vinyl siding, they're energy efficient. We do sort of phases of houses, and each phase we try to get a little better at what we're doing to make it more affordable and better for the homeowner. But and once again, these are programs that they have to get a traditional mortgage. They have to maintain those mortgages. There's no other government intervention. But I can say successfully we've done very well no foreclosures, no one losing their home. Everyone is able to do that. So we're very proud of that aspect, that these homes we're developing. And once again, many close-knit neighborhoods find out if it becomes overly rental, more rentals than home ownership, sometimes the balance gets out. So when we can take a neighborhood that once was heavily rental and start incorporating more home ownership, then that's when the pride and community can really take over.
It's a win-win, isn't it?
It is.
Oh, that's
Absolutely
great.
it is.
That's great. I'm so glad to see Terry Heights coming back too.
Terry Heights, and there's, of course, the big picture, and the mayor have several plans up that Holmes Avenue corridor.
Yes.
So that area particularly will be thriving for many, many years to come.
Okay, you've got CDBG funds also. So what do you do with those?
Well, we have several programs. We have a deferred home repair maintenance. It is only qualifications or application only taken several times a year, but it's for seniors in our disabled community. If they have some exterior repairs, we can provide some of the materials with our grant funds, but then we need volunteer labor. So if there's any volunteers, organizations, church groups that would like to volunteer, then we can try to link them up with the needs of the disabled and senior community to make these urgent repairs, because our funds don't go very far if we're paying contractors constantly, but we can help a little bit. But once again, these are income-based, age-based, disability-based. So that's one, but we can also do neighborhood improvements in low to moderate income neighborhoods, and we have done parks. So we invest in parks, the Lakewood Park. We did a pavilion, a walking trail, to try to increase recreational activities throughout the city. And then we also recently did the shower center, the splash pad, which was a phenomenal success. The neighborhood, of course, during the summer, these hot times, the students are just having a wonderful time.
The kids are loving it, aren't they?
It is absolutely wonderful to see them enjoy these neighborhoods and getting out and exercising and having fun. Then some of the other community development block grant is the CBG. We do some public services for some nonprofits. We have a period of the year that when we come and try to analyze and evaluate what the needs of the community are, because all of our programs are based on community input, community needs.
Community needs, right? Yeah.
So we have to do an annual plan, an action plan. We do a 5-year plan, and those plans are sort of developed in conjunction with, we're totally developed in conjunction with the community. We have public hearings, we have advertisements, we have a Citizens Advisory Council representing the neighborhoods that meets from September through May, and they bring ideas to us on where needs are. And then we look at that and with these different groups, prioritize the needs, and then we publish what we recommend, and then City Council, Mayor, and Housing and Urban Development ultimately approve what we're going to be doing each year.
I was going to ask also, you've got an investment of a lot of grants, of course, in the community. What does that mean to a community like Huntsville?
Well, the grants, in our case, we leverage a lot of money using our grants, so it's not just a one-time grant opportunity.
Okay.
So by using these home dollars, we put a relatively small amount of home dollars into some of these multifamily projects, but we're getting an investment from the developers of literally millions and millions of dollars for a modest $300,000 investment that is paid back. They're investing sometimes between $8 to $10 million.
Oh.
So if we don't do these kind of projects, we don't invest these grant dollars, these developers aren't eligible to get these tax credit opportunities that they get from the state. So the grant opportunity allows us and as our community to invest small, and we get big rewards.
Now, are the citizens involved in your decision making or your preparation, or?
We do. We have public hearings. We have them at the library. We have them at the shower center. We have them at our city council chambers. They're advertised. So we try to get as much community involvement. And then once again, we have our Citizens Advisory Council, in which comes to us and brings neighborhood thoughts from their individual neighborhood associations that are scattered throughout the city.
Talk a little bit about the advisory council and how would one participate or become a member? Because I would imagine that is something very, very key to not only the community, but also to the department.
The advisory council is actually appointed by city council.
Okay.
So we have the slots open, so contact your city council person. They actually have new openings, people rotate off periodically. I think we're full now, but probably within the next 6 months, someone will be rotating off.
How many are on that council?
I believe the maximum there is 9.
Okay.
It's in 7 or 9, but so once again, if you're interested in serving in that capacity, and even if you're not a voting member of that panel, you can attend our meetings.
I was going to say, you can still attend the meetings, right?
And the meetings will be posted on the website for the City of Huntsville when they'll start back up in September, and we do every other month: September, November, January, March, and May.
Okay. Okay. Sounds interesting.
And Alex Adams is the chair of that group.
Okay. In addition to that, what other outreach programs does the community development offer?
Well, we actually try to get into the neighborhoods. I'm a board member of Terry Heights and a few others, so our outreach is to work with the neighborhoods, try to see what their needs are, these low to moderate areas. Terry Heights recently, it has the farmers market, so we sort of help bring that along for the community. At one time, it was sort of a desert food island over there, but more things are coming in. But fresh produce is key. So, but more importantly than the produce aspect of that, there's a sense of community that comes around that neighborhood market every Wednesday afternoon.
You're exactly right. I was there Wednesday, of course, with you and the others, and there is a sense of community. Of course, the vegetables are wonderful. I bought a bunch the other day, but it's like like you say, it's a sense of belonging, accomplishment. And it just enhances that the Terry Heights community.
And once a year, usually in July, we try to get a little festival fair atmosphere. We'll have like hot dogs and chips and a drink, and get the neighbors to come out up and down the street, and different vendors can come in. So once again, there was a time people did not want to walk in Terry Heights, but now the neighbors are embracing one another. They're walking up and down the street. When there is an issue, Huntsville Police Department is phenomenal about making sure it's addressed. But there actually just aren't that many problems there because the neighborhood is almost taking back control of what's going on in their neighborhood.
And they have an active neighborhood association,
do
they not?
Have very. Tammy Jordan is like a coordinator over there through Second Mile, and she does an outstanding job of communicating with the residents, and that's the key.
Just keeping them informed.
Keeping them informed, and she'll go walking door to door and passing out flyers and talking to everyone. So that is an outreach program that we do. We actually are fostering coming up in November called a housing expo.
Okay,
We're trying
tell
to
us about that.
To individuals interested in housing, whether it be a rental housing for the first time, whether it be a first-time home ownership, if you are just wanting to buy a home, or if you're looking at as a senior and you want to make the transition out of home into a senior affordable housing development. So we'll have vendors there, mainly from nonprofits and mortgage companies, and we'll have some small breakout sessions, maybe one with millennials. As a millennial, what's in their best interest financially, looking forward for the next 5, 10 years, 15 years of their life. So we reach out, try to do programs that our community has told us they're interested in, that they want to attend, and that can make an impact in their lives and for the community.
Well, now, when will that be?
It'll be November 12th. It's on a Saturday. It'll be at the Stone Event Center. They're the new old Stone High School. They're at Clinton and Governor's Drive. It will be from 8 until noon. We will have some activities for children. We're looking at like a bounce through house for entertainment. We're looking at having some food trucks available. We'll have some breakout sessions, a couple of plenary sessions, and then like a vendor setup. So we are encouraging. It's not really a place for people to come try to sell you. It's really for you to come out and get more information.
Okay.
So you want to know okay, I've never had a mortgage, what do I have to do? Or I had a problem a few years ago with my credit, how can I fix that now?
Okay.
So we'll answer those type questions. And then, and that's for home ownership, if someone's ready to go into a senior multifamily apartment situation, then we can tell them what's available, what the rents are, what developers are available in town, and we'll answer a lot of those questions.
Now, is this your first? This is not your first
This
year.
is the first one under this description.
Okay.
We've conducted housing informational sessions probably several years ago, but this one is we're hoping to be a little bit larger and a broader spectrum of issues than what we've conducted in the past. In the past, we've mainly did down payment assistance or just home ownership, but now we're really looking at rentals. And even if you're from the area of being homeless, maybe areas that the homeless can be linked up to opportunities to move into some housing
Great.
opportunities. So
Yeah.
it takes every aspect of housing we hope to address on November 12th, Stone Event Center from 8 to 12.
Well, we'll try to help get that information out to the public, because this is very important.
And a lot of other larger communities, I think Birmingham actually has their housing expo this weekend. Nashville has. So it is becoming issues that more and more communities are addressing. So we want to do that because I think Huntsville is becoming the size that we can house this type of event, and a lot of individuals can come together.
Exactly. Scott, what's the future for Community Development Grant Program? What do you see?
Well, I see and hope that the federal HUD funds continue. We will continue to be creative with our dollars and try to maximize their impact. Because we realize that tax dollars are precious. We realize that the federal dollars are few and far between these days. So our challenge is to making sure that every dollar we receive, that we not only spend that dollar on a one-for-one, but we get an investment back either through multifamily projects or home ownership opportunities, that our investment in the community through these grant dollars makes an impact. I guess the best thing you can say about our department is that we're making a difference.
Making a difference. And
that is true.
That's important. That's great. Well, this is a great way to end our talk
Well,
here.
thank you. I have enjoyed it. Feel free to contact Community Development anytime, and we'll be glad to answer your questions and do what we can do to help.
As I mentioned earlier, the Community Development Department is not only busy, but valuable to the citizens of Huntsville. Thanks again, Scott, for your leadership. To contact Community Development, please call 256-427-5400 for more information. The website is www.huntsvilleal.gov. And that's my show for today. I'm Brenda Martin for Inside Huntsville, a great place to live, work, and play.